Welcome to today's Explainer. We are jumping right in to unpack one of the most epic, chronological journeys ever recorded in human history. We're looking at a story that has completely transcended time, geography, and culture. It's a tale of intense duty, unimaginable hardship, divine devotion, and ultimately, the triumph of good over evil. I'm talking, of course, about the journey of Ram, the seventh avatar of Vishnu and the central figure of the ancient Sanskrit epic, the Ramayana.
But here's the real hook. How exactly does a 14-year banishment, literally a punishment designed to erase a prince from memory, end up birthing a massive 24,000 shloka epic? And crazy enough, how do those specific 14 years wandering through the wilderness go on to shape modern ideals of constitutional governance? It's a fascinating transformation of a ticking clock into a timeless legacy, and we are going to break it all down for you.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is the visual roadmap of our 14-year ticking clock. Year 1, the heartbreaking exile from the royal kingdom of Ayodhya. Then we move into the grueling years 1 through 13 spent surviving the harsh, demon-filled Dandakaranya forest. The climax hits in year 13 with the desperate, monumental rescue mission to Lanka. And finally, year 14 brings the triumphant return.
Section 1. The 14-year exile. To really understand this, we have to look at the royal decree that kicked the whole thing off. So on the very eve of his coronation, Ram gets banished. His stepmother, Queen Kaikeyi, cashes in an old promise so her own son, Bharata, can rule instead. Ram simply states, "I must follow the law and my father's words, for the law must be upheld at all costs." I mean, talk about absolute adherence to duty and dharma, the cosmic law of righteousness. He doesn't fight for the throne, he doesn't incite a rebellion. He accepts the 14-year exile with total calmness and self-control. Alongside his devoted wife Sita and his loyal brother Lakshmana, Ram just leaves his royal life behind, choosing righteousness over power. And that choice violently shifts our narrative right into Section 2, the jungle of punishment. To truly grasp what they endured, we need to ground this mythology in reality. Dandakaranya literally translates from Sanskrit to the jungle of punishment. We aren't just talking about a small patch of local woods here. It's a historically massive, rugged region covering roughly 92,200 square kilometers in central East India today. It spans across parts of Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra, Odisha, and Andhra Pradesh. Ram, Sita, and Lakshmana spent over a decade wandering through this huge, unforgiving terrain, living a highly humble life while protecting local ascetics from roaming demons.
After years of wandering, that ticking clock hits a critical turning point at Panchavati. Enter Surpanaka, a demoness who becomes completely infatuated with Ram. When Ram rejects her, citing his vow of monogamy to Sita, she aggressively goes after Lakshmana and then violently attacks Sita out of pure jealousy. In defense, Lakshmana cuts off Surpanaka's nose and ears. While that single defensive act, it triggers an unstoppable chain reaction, drawing the absolute wrath of Surpanaka's terrifying brother, the demon king of Lanka, Ravana.
Now, what's really interesting about this is this stark contrast. On one side, you have Ram's strict adherence to duty and dharma. On the other, you've got Ravana's totally blind pride. Ravana orders his uncle, a reformed demon named Maricha, to disguise himself as a golden deer to lure Ram away from Sita. Maricha, who had previously faced Ram's divine power and chose a quiet life of penance instead, vehemently refuses. He literally warns Ravana that opposing Ram means total annihilation. But Ravana, completely blinded by his own ego, issues a brutal ultimatum: obey or die by my sword. Forced into the plot, Maricha becomes the golden deer. Sita is captivated and asks Ram to catch it. When Ram's arrow strikes Maricha, the demon mimics Ram's voice, crying out for help. It's a clever trick, and it prompts Lakshmana to leave Sita unguarded, though he does draw a magical protective line called the Lakshman Rekha. Ravana, disguised as a sage, tricks Sita into stepping over that boundary and violently abducts her in his flying chariot, the Pushpaka Vimana. Even the brave Vulture King, Jatayu, fights valiantly to save Sita, but gets fatally wounded, his wings slashed off in the process. Just like that, the 14-year exile becomes a desperate rescue mission.
Which brings us to Section 3, Forging an Unlikely Alliance.
With Sita gone and the 14-year clock still ticking down, Ram and Lakshmana head southward in total despair. They have no resources, no army to take on the powerful king of Lanka. But their fortunes shift in the Kashkinda forest.
Ram forms a strategic, powerful alliance with Sugriva, the banished king of the Vanaras, the forest-dwelling ape humans. Ram helps Sugriva defeat his oppressive brother Vali and reclaim his throne. In return, Sugriva pledges his massive Vanara army to search the four corners of the earth for Sita, and it's exactly here that Ram meets his most devoted follower and brilliant commander, Hanuman. And this brilliantly illustrates Hanuman's subsequent solo mission, which is just staggering in scale. First, he leaps entirely across the vast ocean, defeating sea monsters along the way. Second, he infiltrates the heavily guarded sacred grove, Ashokvatika, finds Sita, and gives her Ram's signet ring to prove he is a genuine messenger. Finally, after being captured and having his tail set on fire, he breaks free and uses that very fire to burn down the golden city of Lanka before leaping all the way back to deliver the crucial intelligence to Ram.
Armed with Hanuman's intelligence, we enter Section 4, the Great Lanka Battle.
The momentum here has reached a fever pitch. First, they have to actually cross the Southern Ocean. Guided by the ocean deity, two Vanaras named Nal and Neel write Ram's name on heavy stones, which causes them to magically float, creating a massive bridge straight to Lanka. The ensuing war is absolutely brutal. At one point, Lakshmana is fatally wounded. To save him, Hanuman is sent to the Himalayas for a specific healing herb. But unable to identify the right plant in the dark, Hanuman literally uproots the entire mountain and flies it back to the battlefield. Ultimately, after Ravana repeatedly regenerates during their duel, Ram is advised to strike Ravana's navel, the hidden source of his immortality. Ram fires the fatal arrow, slaying Ravana and rescuing Sita.
The 14-year ticking clock has finally run out. Section 5. Return to Rama Raja.
When Ram, Sita, and Lakshmana finally arrive back in Ayodhya, the citizens are absolutely overjoyed. To celebrate their triumphant return and to guide them through the darkness, the people lit thousands of earthen lamps, or diyas. This incredibly joyous event cemented the festival of Diwali, which to this day, as our sources remind us, represents the ultimate triumph of light over darkness, knowledge over ignorance, and good over evil.
So, the crucial point is that this epic isn't just an ancient story. It actually laid down real blueprints for governance. The period of Ram's rule that followed is famously known as Ram Raja. Scholars note that the ideals forged during Ram's 14-year crucible echo strongly in modern constitutional governance today. We see the absolute importance of the rule of law. Remember Ram accepting his exile without a single question. We see a deep, ingrained commitment to the welfare of subjects, treating everyone fairly. And we see a limited monarchy, where the ruler acts on the advice of a council of ministers, which sounds very similar to our modern democratic frameworks. But alongside governance, the journey left an unmatched legacy of devotion. After the battle, when Ram was distributing gifts to those who helped him, Hanuman famously refused any material wealth. He stated that rather than needing a gift to remember Rama, he would always be in his heart. When challenged by some skeptical court officials, Hanuman literally tore open his own chest to reveal an image of Ram and Sita residing right there on his heart. It is such a striking, powerful visual of the enduring devotion born from this 14-year trial.
Which leaves us with this provocative question to ponder. How does a 14-year journey of exile, one filled with demons, magical deer, and flying mountains, continue to physically light millions of lamps every autumn and fundamentally shape modern constitutional laws today? It's a brilliant testament to how effectively the Ramayana bridges ancient mythological ideals with our modern reality, reminding us that the themes of duty, sacrifice, and justice are truly eternal. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep exploring.